have a sacred duty to prevent further death and destruction in the world. To his wife, Eleanor, the president said, "This Son of Man has just sent his final message to the Son of God." It was an article of faith at the time, and all these years later, many people still believe today that President Roosevelt knew that attack was coming at Pearl Harbor and let it happen in order to draw America into the war.
Well, I don't think there's ever been a shred of concrete evidence put forth that would support that theory. There's no question about the fact that Washington expected war to begin. But Washington was focused, indeed preoccupied, with the movement of this Japanese invasion force that was moving from Japan to Southeast Asia. That's where they thought the war would start, not in Hawaii.
We're great for conspiracy theories all down through our history, but why has this particular myth about Roosevelt survived so long?
I just think there are many people out there that could never accept the fact that we were so unprepared or that we let our guard down so much, America as a country. And I guess they just were looking for a scapegoat.
All right, we've reached the night of December 6th, 1941, the last quiet night America would know for several years. And December 6th is where our story begins, when General Schwarzkopf and I return.
Do you know what's changing? Today's pork. The other white meat.
Believe it or not, your skin renews itself every 28 days.
Skin Science Update from Vaseline Intensive Care.
I'm Joan London. At Vaseline Intensive Care Research, scientists are constantly developing lotions that nurture this renewal process, so next month's skin can be better than the last. In the coming months, I'll be bringing you their latest discoveries. Thousands of scientists in 40 countries on 6 continents are working to come up with the most advanced solutions to heal dry skin and innovative ways to stop skin problems before they start. Until recently, Skin Science was devoted to cure. Now at Vaseline Intensive Care, it is just as devoted to prevention.
Vaseline Intensive Care. From intensive research comes intensive care.
Introducing Glade Plug-ins Potpourri.
Plug it in fresh in the air. Plug it in fresh in everywhere.
Plug into freshness with Glade Plug-ins, now in Potpourri.
Plug it in, plug it in.
You can count on Sears for great Christmas values. Our men's fleece activewear sets are priced at just $26.99. You save $10. Super colors, super styles, a super value. Only at Sears now.
Remember Pearl Harbor will continue after.
Where does she come from? What is her secret? Why is she here?
It's been 15 years since the plane crash.
Caroline's dead.
What does she want? Who will she hurt?
I want you to stay away from my children.
Is she my sister or what?
Those children need you.
Is she committing a crime?
I don't see any indications of retardation.
Or a miracle?
Help me, Winston. Take me to Caroline.
Stephanie Zimbalist, a Hallmark Hall of Fame presentation, next Saturday.
This is CBS.
In the spirit of the Olympic Games, the Postal Service would like to present... Two-day priority mail. That's delivery in just 2 days of up to 2 pounds for just $2.90. Remember, 2 days, 2 pounds, $2.90. 2-day priority mail from your Postal Service.
We deliver for you.
sponsor of the 1992 Olympic Games.
I think it was love at first sight, actually.
Tula went from a young boy to a sexy James Bond girl. Now Tula's getting married. On the next Entertainment Tonight, Tula tells all about her upcoming wedding and her husband-to-be.
He has such a pure quality that it's very rare.
Find out how they met and how Tula's sister is helping with parenthood.
She's absolutely delighted to be a surrogate mother for us.
Tula engaged. You'll hear her inside story only on Entertainment Tonight.
Monday at 7:30 on Channel 2.
A big band singer and a smoking gun. Inside Edition investigates.
On the night of December 6th, hours before the first bombers took off from the Japanese carriers, 5 primitive midget submarines were launched toward Honolulu.
Others would later call it a suicide mission. As for myself, I had no thoughts about dying. I felt like I would accomplish my task and somehow get back to rejoin the main force. We had to make that effort with a noble spirit, to pay homage to the gods. It was not a human effort.
When you get right down to the actual hours right before the attack, a certain degree of, I don't want to call it serenity, sets in, but perhaps a certain degree of fatalism sets in. You recognize at this point that the die has been cast, the plan has been made, and now it's going to happen. The dice are in the air, they just haven't hit the table yet.
We drank a lot in the evenings. But the night before the attack, I was so excited that no matter how much I drank, I couldn't get drunk, and I couldn't sleep.
December 6th was an absolutely average Saturday night in Honolulu. The officers went to parties, dances, and starting at about 6 o'clock, what's been described as a great white river of sailors flowed down Hotel Street from the YMCA towards the bars and the tattoo parlors. Many of the sailors on December 6th gathered in the Block Arena in Pearl Harbor for a weekly event called the Battle of the Bands, which was a competition between the orchestras on the different battleships. And there's a picture from that evening. It's a picture of the band of the Arizona, and I think it's perhaps the most tragic picture of all of the Pearl Harbor pictures. You can see the boys, really high school boys, holding the instruments that they'd presumably learned how to play in high school, and looking proud that they'd just come in second. And because they came in second, they were given a reward. They were told that they could sleep late tomorrow morning. And because they slept late, not a single one of the boys in that photograph would survive the attack.
The first wave took off 200 miles directly north of Oahu. Right after they took off, we warmed up our engines. We were ready to die if necessary. Our forces weren't certain if they would ever return home. I respect those young men who carried out the mission. I respect them like they were gods.
At 5:50 a.m., the Japanese carriers turned slowly into very heavy winds. Bad weather delayed takeoff for 20 minutes. Then the first Zero took off. The high-level bombers came next, then the dive bombers, and last, but certainly not least, the torpedo bombers. At 7:15, the second wave began. In just 90 minutes, the Japanese had launched at sea an attack force of 350 planes, the biggest and fastest at-sea launch in the history of warfare. Charles, in order to set the scene, we can just imagine what's happening at this time. Hundreds of airplanes in the air, massed north of Oahu, ready to attack. The first wave to come in and destroy our Air Force on the ground before those planes can interfere with the second wave of the attack. The next wave's prepared to come in and attack the principal target from both sides, that target being Pearl Harbor. But more importantly, the U.S. Pacific Fleet that was in Pearl Harbor. The plan had been war-gamed, rehearsed. Every pilot had been involved in a dress rehearsal in harbors inside Japan. And every pilot knew what his principal target was, and if he couldn't find his principal target, he had an alternate target to attack. And of course, the main target was right here, the U.S. battleship lined up like ducks in a row. In order to attack these battleships, the Japanese had even designed two new weapon systems: a shallow water torpedo to take care of the shallow depths in Pearl Harbor, and an armored piercing bomb designed to penetrate the decks of the battleship and then explode inside.
And both those weapons worked terribly well that morning.
Unfortunately, they did.
The United States had a new weapon, too. It also worked well on the morning of December 7th, and it did the American side no good at all. The attack on Pearl Harbor, when we return.
The card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
This is not a surprise. You knew you were going to have to pick up the tab. But then 6 more people showed up. Not the time to run up against a preset limit on a bank card. That would be embarrassing. But you can handle this. Instead of worrying, you order more wine. The card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
I soak my dentures and use mouthwash, but sometimes I use toothpaste and mouthwash, but sometimes
Wait, all you need is denture cream. In just 90 seconds, denture cream gets dentures nearly twice as clean. Plus, it has minty mouthwash ingredients to freshen dentures. All you need is denture cream.
Cleaning toilets is a lousy job, so I invented 2000 Flushes Blue to help you. It's loaded with detergents, cleans and deodorizes automatically. Up to 4 months. Try my 2000 Flushes Blue or Green. Cleans your toilet with every flush.
Now on video for a limited time.
Hey, you're not gonna believe what I got you, Jake. Look, it's Fantasia. It's just for you. Well, all right, maybe not just for you. I mean, I gotta tell you, it's magic. That's right. Mickey, yeah. Between you and me, this was our only chance to get it, and I didn't want you to miss it.
Walt Disney's masterpiece, Fantasia. It's the perfect holiday gift.
Well, of course I got it for you. I'm your dad. Fantasia is ours forever.
Something's missing. Today's pork. What's missing? 31% of the fat, 14% of the calories. Taste what you could be missing. Pork, the other white meat.
Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the circus has come to town. Woo-wee!
Will it bring love to Marilyn?
You and the flying man, is this serious?
A shock to Shelley?
Will you marry me?
Or good fortune to Maggie?
I see marriage. He's not from New York, is he?
Ah, just wait, I got it!
Northern Exposure, Monday.
Magic Johnson.
I made a mistake.
In his first network television interview.